Hello everyone, welcome once again to my channel and welcome to the Excel Basics training tutorial series. We have done a couple of videos about the channel and we've already had a first introduction to how to use Excel. If you haven't watched that particular video, kindly click up here. You will see a little pop-up that allows you to see the first video and then dive into the basic concept that we have discussed in Excel. So today we are going to jump into our second phase, and in this phase I'm very happy because we are going to try and work with something called tables, and that is going to allow us to work on data even much faster. So without much ado, let me, as usual, pull up my slide. I like to use slides, for us to have a concept and overview before we dive in. Yes, so like I said, we're talking about tables today. We are still learning the basics, and last week we had our first video out on the overview of Excel, how to download Excel and how to use or follow up with us when we are doing the practical session. So please, if you haven't watched that, you'll see a ribbon that pull out. Please click on that particular ribbon and then view the first video. If you have already done that, then like we said last week, we spoke about the ribbon tab, we spoke about the sheet area, and we did a few basic formula. It was basic during our first tutorials, although it was 1 hour long. I promise these videos going forward are going to be max 30 minutes, so you can feel free to jump to any section of the video as much as possible and you still understand what we are doing. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about tables, and so we're going to be doing a few things, 3 basic things in table, which I'll talk about in the next slide. But you're basically going to see how to make sampling data and working with data much simpler for us. Okay, so we also be doing something like converting a range to table. So if you had watched our first video, you would understand what a range is. Okay, so in this particular tutorial, we're also going to be doing translating that particular range into table, and I think it was the last session I covered in the previous tutorial, so please do want to check it out. And then once again, if you are new to the channel, welcome to my channel. It's all about data and analysis. I had done several videos that spoke about the concept of this particular channel while we are diving into data and analysis. So please do want to go into my channel or even look at the, how do you call it, the section of videos in my under this data analytics, and then you will see why we are doing data and analysis on my channel. Welcome to my channel. It is all about data analysis, and it's all about how to work with Excel and the other powerful tools that we use for data analytics. Please smash the like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, turn on the notification bell so that anytime in the week we drop new videos, you'll be the first to have a look at it and you'll be the first to learn something. Okay, so let's move on to our next slide. And in this slide, we are talking about the 3 basic things that we were going to learn in this particular tutorials, and we're going to spend max 30 minutes doing it. Okay, I've even timed myself just to make sure that we don't go out of hand. So we're going to be learning how to sort and filter. We're going to be learning how to do some formatting. Okay, and then we're also going to learn how to do auto filling. Ignore the small sub text underneath. I just changed the main text. So we're doing sorting, we're doing formatting, and we'll be doing auto filling. And trust me, you're going to love this part of the video because it's fun and it's going to be an eye-opener for anybody who has been working with Excel and has been doing a lot of things manually. And more so, I have pulled out a real-life data about a space station. So it's a company that's launched spacecraft into space, and so there's some information about it, the cost and all of those things about that particular data, and it was free to have access to. So once I'm done with this video, I'll make that data available in the summary section of the video. You can go there, click it and download, and then have access to the data and manipulate it as much as possible. We also have our Discord channel app, so it is also going to be down below. Kindly click on that link and join us on the Discord channel and let's have fun. If you have questions, please throw them at me and I'll do my best to explain. So at this point, let's dive in and we've done 5 minutes already, so let's spend a good 25 minutes doing what we like doing best, which is having fun with data. Okay, so I'm going to fire up my Excel sheet, and then yes, so this is the data we are working with today. And as you can see, the first column talks about company. Let me first take this off. I had not taken off my filters. Good. So the first section here, let me zoom in a bit more. The first section here talks about the company, the location of the company, the date, the time the rocket was launched, the type of rocket that was launched, the mission. You know, all of these particular launches, they have a name for them. So you find something like Explorer 1 or Pioneer 3 or WE-SAT, and then you will find out whether the rocket has been retired or the rocket is still being used. Okay, and for some of the rockets, they have prices, so how much it costs for them to do those particular launches, and then whether the rocket successfully launched or it was a failure. Okay, there's also something called pre-launch failure as well. So maybe before the main launch, they did a pre-launch and they realized that it's failed. So all of those particular that particular comment section is there for us to work with. So like I said, we're going to have fun. Now, to begin with, this particular sheet that I have, okay, has everything in a range. Like I said earlier in our previous video, we have ranges. So ranges, a range is basically a compilation of a highlighted area of your Excel sheet. So for example, I've highlighted from cell A1 to I think to I, the last value of I would be cell 4. So cell what? I4631. If you look at our section, I hope you did not forget what we taught in our last video. So we mentioned that this particular section is called our name box. So I'm highlighting from the cell A1, which is here, from the company all the way to the I4631. Sorry. So what we are going to do is, so this whole thing is a range. We are going to convert this whole range into a table for us to work with. Okay, so I showed you a shortcut to do this, and the shortcut is just stand anywhere in the table and then do Control E. So press the Control. It says we looked at all the data next to your section and did you see a pattern for filling in the value. So sometimes Excel is such that it will, if there are spaces in between your data, it finds it difficult to either put them all into a table. So you may sometimes end up have to do it manually, but I'll show you a number of ways to get it done. Either use Control T rather. Yes, I was doing Control E. That's a mistake. Control E is for flash fill. Control T is for table. So let me do it again. So anywhere in your data, you hold down your Control key and press the alphabet or the letter T on your keyboard, and then it pulls up this interesting dialog box. We call this a dialog box because mostly it communicates with you, so you have to understand what it's talking about. And it's saying that where is the data for your table. So we are trying to create a table, and it's asking where is our data for the table. So if you look closely, you will find that I have this dotted line all around my data from the top to the down. It's like it's taking some sort of, it's like a table form down, and it has covered all the data. So this is what we're talking about, that when you want to work with the data you have and it is this mushy, sometimes doing some, which we will be doing calculations and all of that, you have to be manually clicking and pulling them down. If you remember in a previous video, we did with a smaller set of data, we're doing some subtractions, averages and all of that, and we did, and then we double click or we had to drag down. When we work with tables, it's simpler. We don't have to go through that particular process. We only do for one, and then we double click it and it works down. So once you click on once you do the Control T, it highlights the whole thing, and then make sure, this is where you have to keep keen eye, make sure that this place that it says my table has headers must be checked. Okay, so what it means is that it is translating the first row, which is company, location, date, time, rocket, mission, rocket status, price, and mission status, to what? As a header. So it means that everything that falls underneath in a way are similar to what it's talking about. So for example, here you have companies, so it means AEB, Amber, and Ariane Space are all types of company. Okay, so make sure that the first one or the first row are headers. And it is very important that when you're working with tables, you have or you clearly state your headers so that it easily allows you to work with your data. Okay, so now we click OK and then wait and see what happens. So it automatically converts it now into a table. So now we get down into a table. Now let's go quickly to the top here. You see that when we click this OK, now we have something new called table design. Now the whole thing is a table now, and it has given us a new menu on the ribbon tab where we have what? Now we have properties, tools, external data, table styles, and then table style options, and then table styles. So these are banded, or in our previous video we call them grouped menus. Okay, so these are group menus that allows us to work even further on this table. What do we want to do with the table? Do we want to slice it? Do we want to the slice and dicing of data? Are we filtering a column? All of that, we'll do them just now. So let's go right into it. So in this table there are a few things we are going to be doing. First, we are going to learn how to sort. Okay, sort. So what I want to do is I want to sort all the companies in alphabetical order. Okay, so to sort in a table, it is simple because once you translate the data that you had into a table, it gives you these menus. You see these buttons that come here? These drop down menu buttons, they are the sort buttons. They allow you to do two things: filter the data and then sort the data. So sorting is, like I said, grouping in a particular order, either A to Z or Z to A. Sorry. And then filtering. Filtering means you only want to show a number of things, just a selected category of things you want to see. So we are going to be doing that. So first, I want us to sort. Okay, I want us to sort the company name in alphabetical, in descending order. I had already sorted in alphabetical order, so that is the thing. So let's sort it in descending order. To do that, click on this, and then you see sort A to Z and sort Z to A. So the easiest is what we are going to do is from what? Z to A. So click on Z to A, and then you see that it's now sorted from Y to A. If you want to see the last one, just click anywhere here and then hold down your control key and the down arrow, and then you see that yes, it is in the A to E, the Z to A sorting format. Let's go back up. Okay, so if I also wanted to sort the other columns, I could do that. So for example, I didn't want to sort it Z to A, I want it A to Z for this, so I'll sort it A to Z. Okay, and now what I wanted was I want to sort, so for example, this column, the rocket status column, I want to sort it A to Z. Okay, so what I do is I also click this button and then I sort it with A to Z. So you see now that I've sorted it A to Z. You have active first, and then what follows? You have retired. So let's go down and see what the last thing is. The last thing is what? Retired. So everything here to the to the bottom is retired, and you can see the number of rows we are filtering. We are filtering, we are sorting, sorry, 4,000 rows of 4,631. Okay, that is the quantum of data we have on these rocket launchers. So don't forget to, so sorting is either alphabetical order or descending order. Okay, we will cover conditional formatting where we do conditional sorting in later videos, but let's keep a keen eye to what we are doing with tables. Now, so we have decided to, we've done sorting. Let's do filtering. Now, if you take a look closely, I'm going back to company, and then let me try and maximize this a bit, and let me see if I can get my zoom in key. No, this is not my zoom in key. Let's do this. Yes. Okay, this is not working. Let's do this. Let's just zoom in with our Excel. My zoom in application is failing me, so let's do this. Good. Now let's go back up. When you click the drop down here, so now we are treating filtering, and what I want to do is, you will find out that there are several companies in here. There is the AEB, Amber, there is ISAS, there are a lot of companies in here. There's Rocket Lab. So let's say I want to see only the data for Rocket Lab. Okay, I want to see the location, the date, the time, the rocket type, the mission that they did at Rocket Lab, whether how many of those particular missions were active or inactive. We'll do that. So what you do is you go up and you see this select all button, the select all option. Click it to deselect everything, and then you can either use the search here to type rocket, and you see that it pulls out anything with rocket for you, or clear it again, deselect, and then you look for the Rocket Lab. But imagine there was so many lines of so many names here, about into the millions. So let's say 1 million, let's say you use the entire row, 1,040,000 something. You don't have the time to do that, so you have to type it. So this is Rocket Lab. I click on Rocket Lab, I click OK, and you see now that I have only Rocket Lab for me. So if I go down, I'm at the last end, I see only Rocket Lab. So this is what we call filtering. So filter allows you to show just a category of things you want. Okay, I can sub filter this. So let's say that even though I had filtered Rocket Lab, I want to only filter out retired. So how many of the type of rockets that they use for the launching did they retire? Okay, so I go to that one is a status. So I go to the rocket status, click on rocket status, and I see active. It means that all the rockets for Rocket Lab are active. There's none that has been retired. Okay, so what we do is, let's go to mission status. Let's say, okay, if these missions, so it's a test mission, is still active for them. So they had a mission called it's a test mission, and then they have another one called still testing, and they say all of these are still active. Okay, then I want to say how many of these particular missions that they have done failed. So the mission status. So I click on mission status, and then, like I said, we are filtering. Okay, I want to take away success. I don't want any of the success. I want only failures. So now I click OK. So you see we have only 3 of the missions that are ongoing with Rocket Lab that have failed. Okay, so this is how to use your data and quickly have an overview of what you have there and how to make some sense of it. So for example, if you are given data like this and it wasn't in a table form, the best thing you have to do is make sure you translate your data into a table, so that with the help of the filter buttons, these particular ones, with the help of these particular filter buttons, it allows you to quickly slice and dice into the data. So when I say slice and dice, I'm just talking about diving deep into the data, making certain analysis about what you have at hand. Again, we are still treating Excel basics, and this is one of the least things that is as powerful you can do in Excel using tables. Okay, so now if you want to go out of all of the you want to deselect the filtering you've done, the easiest thing to do is go to the data tab here on the menu. So let me show you where the data tab is here, this particular one. And then whilst you are there, so select it. So whilst you are there, you come all the way to the sort and filter section. This is sort and filter. Okay, the sort and filter group. And then you will notice that the filter button here it's like it's been selected. Do you get it? So when you want to deselect all the field, you want everything to come down, just go to the data tab, come to the sort and filter column, and then the simplest thing to do is just come here, this clear, and then just click on clear, and then you have all your data back to normal. Okay, so this is how to work with tables. There are a number of things that we're going to be doing in tables, but for now we've done sorting and filtering. Okay, so the next thing that I want us to do is formatting. Let's see, we have quite a little time left, but we can do formatting here as well. So when we talk about formatting has to do with a number of things. The number of things you can do in in a table that you can call as formatting. So for example, you can decide to change the color of the table header, remove a particular column, highlight a certain things, make certain things bold, and make certain things italics. So let's do some small formatting here. What I want to do is I want to change I always like to change my font. So when I talk about font, I'm talking about the type of text that is used. Okay, so I go up and then I use the Control A. So once I'm on the company, I just use Control A to select everything in the table. And one easy thing too is when you have data in a table and you're using your shortcuts, it's easier, because once you use a shortcut on the table, it knows from where to cover. Okay, it knows that the table spans from cell A1 to cell I4631. Okay, so that is what I did. So now I select all of that and I go to the Home tab. Okay, so at the Home tab, I come to the font column. You see this font, and I want to come and change I want to change it from Calibri to, let's say, Abadi. Okay, so I have a series of installed font on my laptop, but I want to just change all of this to Abadi. So I change the format to Abadi. So you see how it comes. It's a bit bold, elegant, and you can see. Okay, I want to also change the table colors. Now go back over to table design. Table design allows you to do quite a lot. So I go to table design, and then there are a number of colored tables that they designed for me. So I just click the down arrow, and then I say, okay, I want something that is not so bright, but perhaps a bit cooler and darker. So let's use, no, this is too loud. Okay, let's use this. So I use the middle one, and you see, so I have formatted my table with this particular color. There are other things that you can also do. I can also decide to hide the top row filter buttons. Come to the table and styles. Come to table and styles, and then remove the filter button. Okay, so when I remove, take a look at the first row here where I've highlighted. Okay, take a look at this, the title, or the title of the table. Look at all of this. You realize that these particular small filter buttons will go away in a moment. So you just come to deselect filter button, and then you see it goes away. So if you have the data and it is missing like that, don't get scared. Just make sure you identify either the table design menu, which will be on the last end of all the menus, and then you just select for the menu button, the filter buttons to show again. Another thing I love to do is to, you see when I scroll this, well, I'm using Office 365, so you see that the menus are still sitting here, but usually they get missing. You will not see them on the menu if you're using other versions of Excel. So the first and easiest thing to do is that you come back to the data menu. So you realize that most of the things I'm going between menus to work with them. So no, not data. You go to the view menu and then you come all the way to the window group here. So the window group under the view menu. So notice this. So from table design, we are going all the way left to view menu. Ignore cool tools. Cool tools will not be on your Excel sheet, so it will be easier for you to see the view. So from view, then you come down to what? The window. And under window, look for this freeze panes and select it. Select freeze panes, and then you see freeze top row. So I'm freezing the header alone. So when I freeze the header and now I scroll, you see that the company location, date and time menu does not overwrite the alphabet ABC. You still see the ABC and you still see the company. So now I can easily scroll and I can go down to wherever I want to go and still know under what headers those particular information are. So at this point, I will end with my video on the very first section of tables. In our next video, we'll be doing a little bit on tables, okay? We'll be calculating the price, and then we will try and reduce the number of times a company appears in the table. So which means we are trying to reduce it into a smaller table, and then make sure that we will also be working with just a selected few of the columns. So we'll be working with the company name in our next video, and then we will also be working with the price, the rocket status, and then the mission status. Okay, wow. If you have joined me and kept up with me to this particular point of the video, I'm very happy that you've joined me here to learn a bit about tables and how best you can work with tables. I urge you so much that once you are done watching this video, sit down, do a few sorting and filtering on your data and see how, make yourself abreast with it. Make sure that even when you close your eyes and somebody asks you, okay, if I want to see only this particular kind of company, how do I go about it? You can tell the person the answer. But that said, thank you very much. Like this particular video if you enjoy learning with me and it was fun for you. Like this video, subscribe to the channel and share this to all your friends and families. And most importantly, kindly make sure the notification button is selected, that anytime I drop a new video, you'll be the first to have access to it. Thank you very much and see you in the next video. Bye.